Lamidin, I mean, if you look at the plan of the past administration, one of the key things we saw was a borrowing mechanism, the borrowing style. And you come back to this, it's almost as if the new administration seems to be going on that trend, considering the fact that, up until 2018, you would find that the recurrent expenditure will always continue to exceed total revenue. Now, if you look at that, has anything changed in the modus operandi of this policy, this new plan?
I think that there are some changes. But first, let me highlight the fact that the 140-page document, I read it. The authors of the document were not in any way saying that this is a long-term plan. I think it is more of an expanded version of MTEF, with more details as to how actionable plans, timelines, and so on and so forth. So it is not a long-term. We still need a long-term plan.
Yeah.
We still need to go back to our old system of having this development plan and side by side with rolling 3-year rolling plans, which is what is called the MTEF. For the first time in 2016 budget, we had a budget of 1.8 trillion, which is about 30% of the total budget of 6.06 trillion. This is for the first time. And one of the major priorities of the proposed ERGP is stimulating the economy, stimulus package. So they talk about spending a lot of money in capital expenditure. In 2016, even in 2016, in 2017, they talk about minimum 30%, and the document talk about increasing that over a period of 3 years up to 2020. Beginning from this year, they talk about inclusive growth, and they talk about enhancing employment, creating jobs up to 15 million this year.
Is that not wishful thinking, 15 million jobs?
Well, I'm talking about what the document said. And if you can recollect my opening statement, I said there are some ambitious statements made in the document, but there are still something that we can work towards. If you say you want to achieve 100% and you achieve 50% or 57%, at least you are there, and somebody can mark you, can track you, can be able to know where you are, can be able to follow you up, can be able to push you. That is Nigeria. So at least we have a plan that can work toward that. So before then, the budgetary provision for capital expenditure is no more than 13%, 15%. And in most instances, you find that when you have a budget, the recurrent expenditure will be fully implemented. Repayment of obligations like loans obligations will be fully implemented, but the capital expenditure is the one that typically suffer. Just like 2015 budget, I don't know what is going to happen to 2016 budget, because in 2016 there were projections of borrowings and the borrowings did not come. This year the borrowing has started coming, and Nigerian coffers have started appreciating because of one single commodity. So we are still relying on one commodity to make a living, which is very dangerous, and which is something that we need to do away from. So there are some improvements as far as improvement in capital spending is concerned, contrary to where we were before. But it's still not enough, because if an economy gets into contraction and gets into recession, and a more difficult situation of recession, stagflation, which is basically having both unemployment and side by side with increasing inflation rate, it is very difficult to get out.
All right, we'll stop you there because